Tom and I carry a sling almost every day.
But what do we actually put inside, and what gear changes between daily carry and travel?
In this video, we take you through our favorite slings so you can see what we're bringing and how we pack it for different occasions. Then you can customize it to your needs. We'll start with Tom.
Cool. For my sling pick, this is the Bellroy Venture Ready sling. I'm a big fan of it and it's been my go-to for a while. So let me show you how I pack it out and why I like each item I put inside. All right, let's kick it off with my favorite pocket. It's just the front pocket right here. So it's just one zipper to open it up and you get two compartments on the side. The thing I like about it the most is it's not super precious. You just dump items in, keep them organized, very quick and easy to access. So on this side, there is a key leash. This is where I pop my keys. I like this key organizer from Orbit Key because it keeps the keys from scratching things. And this is the Pro version, which is a big upgrade on the previous Orbit Key because it stays tight when you use it. I really, really like that. Keys on that side, I put them alone. And then on the other side, I just have some chapstick with me for standard reasons. I've got this mini pen, which is super packable and nice, and it's also a pencil. So if you press up here, it's gonna be a pencil. You press down, it's gonna be a pen. That pairs well with the Field Notes notebook or just any random times that I need a pen, but that pops right in here. A full-size pen just wouldn't fit in there. So I like the smaller one. A little nasal inhaler, if you know, you know. I use this when I'm traveling typically. Don't really use it for EDC, but that goes right up here as well. And then ear stuff. I got some loop earplugs just in case it gets loud or something, or I'm at a concert. I'll just keep those on me because they just kind of disappear into this pocket anyways. And then my AirPods as well. I really like having a case on these. It helps me tell the difference between mine and anyone else's that may just be sitting on the table. So I'm a big fan of that, and that kind of just pops in here as well. That wraps up the front pocket, my favorite one, and it's just easy to grab gear and just dump it back in before zipping it up. Next up, the back pocket. This is kind of a hidden pocket. Pull that zipper pull out, open it up, and this is where I put my passport wallet if I'm traveling. This one's from Allet. The reason why I like this the most is that it's just such a small footprint. So that tends to fit super well in places like this that are designed to fit passport dimensions because it's just not that much extra. So it goes in there really well. I'll also pop my Field Notes in here too, just in case I want to jot anything down as I'm out and about. And then this is where I hide the AirTag as well. So that just kind of goes down to the bottom of the pocket in the corner so I can locate my sling if I end up leaving it somewhere I don't know where it is. Moving on to the main compartment. I really like how spacious this is, and I'll walk you through quick. There's a little mesh kind of hammock for glasses here. I typically use a glasses case, but if you just want to go glasses straight in the sling, that works here and it keeps it elevated away kind of from the rest of your gear. And then there's a foam divider pocket in the back here. A lot of people put their phone in the back. I do that sometimes, but mostly I'm a phone in the pocket guy. But I want to show you that it does fit in here in this loadout as we go. For reference, this is the biggest sized iPhone that you can buy. Throw that in there. Nitecore Carbo 10,000, this is the battery bank. I like to keep this on me in case I'm out for a long period of time without an outlet. So I'll put that right in here. To charge from the Nitecore, I use the InCharge XS. It's basically a Swiss Army knife of cables. I have a USB-A, Lightning, and two USB-Cs behind that just kind of come out. So I plug that into the Nitecore and I can charge my iPhone just fine or my AirPods just fine, or a lot of other people's devices who may need a charge on the road when we don't have access to an outlet. And that's actually gonna go up here in the front pocket. I just forgot that one, so we'll put that up there. All right, and then we still have a good amount of space left. So I sort of Tetris in the rest of the items. This is the Peak Design travel tripod. A little bit heavy, but I found it's one of the lower profile tripods that work really well for travel to hold your phone up like that. So that's gonna go inside of the main compartment too. I'll slide this phone back in and I'll slide this in the side. I kind of try to layer the items so they fit in there nicely together. And then I've just got my wallet. This one's from Reform. It's a very low profile. When I'm just using it day to day, I've got my USD in there. And then when I'm traveling, I use this with my travel wallet and I put the currency of the country I'm in here and then extra currency inside of the travel wallet. So I'll pop that up here in the front, just kind of layering it in. Then I have some Pack Hacker patches and stickers. If you see me in the wild, come up to me, I'll give you one of these. try to always have them on me. So that packs down there. We have like a nice layer that's there. This is an aluminum glasses case. It's one of the smallest profile that I could find on Amazon. It's all scratched up. It's not the greatest of quality, but it's small and very packable, and I like it because it fits into this sling very nicely. And then I might just have space for like a snack or a protein bar in there too. And then everything does fit in here. You can zip it up, and that's about maxed. But sometimes I'll switch some of this stuff out. Sometimes some of the stuff inside of here just lives in my tech kit. Sometimes I eat the snack, so that room is back in there again, but it all fits. Next, some clothing accessories and where I put them outside of the sling and some of the reasoning behind it. So this mask is something that I'll bring with me when I travel. This fits my big face pretty well. It is comfortable to wear on plane rides or in public for a long period of time. So this actually just goes in the back pocket here alongside the passport and the notebook. So let me pop that in. That's kind of a travel item if I'm just in a country where a lot of people wear the mask. I like to do that. 2 carabiners too. The Night Eyes carabiner, this is a number 3, and it's locking, which I think is really critical to get the locking version to keep everything nice and locked down. This is typically what I use for EDC, and then the Hero clip, maybe I will add to this when I'm traveling or replace it with this, just depending on what I'm going for. But each of these clips fits very nicely on each side. I usually like to throw the Night Eyes number 3 on and lock it down, and it creates a nice area to hang up accessories on. And then I'll throw the Hero clip on the other side. I like the Hero clip because if I'm at a small table when I'm traveling or eating, I can pop the sling right next to me, and it just kind of hangs out right there, so I don't have to worry about it, and it kind of stays by my side versus slinging it behind my chair. It's a little bit more secure. For the Night Eyes carabiner, I hang any number of things from it depending on the season or what I'm doing. So I can throw a baseball hat really nicely there, a pair of gloves can hang out there, a compressed nano puff jacket or a rain jacket or both can hang out there if it's gonna be inclement weather or cold weather. And then if I'm somewhere where I'm swimming, I can just hang my swimsuit to dry on the side and let it dry out as I'm walking around.
Just as essential as the gear in our slings is the ability to block robocalls and junk mail. They're always annoying, but they're extra irritating when you're traveling. But they stopped working virtually overnight when I started working with Incogni, this video's sponsor. I just sign in with the email I want spam-free, and Incogni does the rest. They've contacted data brokers on my behalf to get my information removed from more than 800 sites, made phone calls, and handled objections for me. Of course, the biggest question is, how do those sites even get my info? It starts when you sign up for store and travel rewards or hand out your name, address, phone number, or financial details to sites you want to do business with. Unfortunately, they might sell that info to data brokers who peddle it to other companies. You can stop all that from hitting your phone and your family members too. Incogni has a family plan that lets you share your subscription with 4 more people so you can save everyone from spam. Incogni is giving PackHacker viewers a 60% discount on an annual plan when you use code PackHacker at the link in the description below. Now, let's get back to our slings. I'm going to be packing everything up into the Low & Sons Bond. This has been my go-to for about a year now, but the organization on the outside is pretty basic. There's just one back pocket, and in here is where I put essentially just my phone. So it's a really great security pocket if you wanted to put like a passport back here. I have a passport size notebook, so sometimes when I'm going through security, when I'm traveling, I'll shove things like that back there. But otherwise, it's a really good spot to just keep whatever device you have because it is so easy to access when it's laying up against your body. Women's clothing also doesn't traditionally have a ton of pockets, so this gives me an easy place to put it no matter what. There's also a slip pocket back here for a card. I generally don't use this, it stays out of the way otherwise, but what's nice about this is when I'm going through security, I've put my ID here and just had it very easily accessible. So that's a nice little feature. I just don't use it a ton for everyday carry. Everything else on the table with me goes into this main compartment. So it has a dual zipper opening. These pockets on the front are really good for small things. So I actually have hand cream here. This is a little Cadence capsule. I like that for just like kind of keeping it on hand throughout the day. I don't use it a ton, but I don't like not having it when I need it. In this pocket as well, I'll put this little in charge, which is it just kind of fits nicely next to it. but this is what I use to top up my AirPods. So I have the USB-C AirPods now, and when I just stick them in this other little pocket here, so they're very nice and easily accessible. But if those run out of power, I can use this battery bank that MagSafe attaches to my phone, and I can actually use this USB-C down here to charge up my AirPods, which I really like having the option to do on the road. So with those little pockets filled, we've got the center pocket actually, which is where I put a chapstick. So this is also slightly big enough to fit like if I had like a lipstick or something a little bit bigger, but I use chapstick like religiously throughout the day, so I like having that really easy to access. So all of the little items that I grab kind of on a daily basis throughout the day, those are all gonna be really accessible here. Meanwhile, in this back pocket, we have items that I don't use a ton throughout the day. There are 3 card slots, so if I wanted to not bring my EDC wallet, or generally I don't bring like a passport wallet, I'll just stick any additional cards back here, and then I'll put, again, passport size notebook, I'll put this back here instead, so it's nice and secure and out of the way. I also put things like a package of tissues back here. I put a couple extra hair ties if I need them. And I also have a little tiny compact mirror, which was a gift from a friend. So, you know, definitely if you have things at home that you love, make sure you bring those along with you. And all of those items go into that back pocket. So they can get nice and zipped away. You don't have to worry about them. Another thing that I'll do is I'll put cash back here when I'm traveling. So when I'm on the road, if I'm traveling somewhere where cash is really prominent, like when we were in Bangkok and you needed to have it on you, this sort of acts as a dump pocket for that as well and keeps it zipped out of the way so that I don't have to upgrade the size of my wallet just to accommodate the cash. With this wallet, this goes into the empty space. I'm actually gonna start with the Kindle though. So when I'm traveling, I always make sure I have a Kindle on me because that's primarily how I read books when I'm on the road. I just make sure I get, you know, my Libby library rentals ready ahead of time. And then the extra space here accommodates my wallet, the battery bank, and then there is a key leash over here to hold my keys. And that just clips on nice and easily. Sometimes I'll put this in this back pocket, but it can get a little bit odd and a little bit clunky. So I'll just stick it on the side here and then shake it out a little bit so things shuffle into space, and then zip it all up. So when I'm traveling, this is everything that's in here. In terms of everyday carry, a couple of items come out and new ones go in. So with everyday carry, I don't carry around my Kindle with me every day. I read a lot of hardcover and like paperback books. So when I'm just kind of wandering around, I don't have that with me, which opens up some space to add items like sunglasses and a hat. So with this hat, I'll just kind of roll it up a little bit, stick it back here, and have that ready to go, or I'll put in the pair of sunglasses. The sunglasses, I'm not really concerned about. These are Gooder sunglasses. They're very durable. I just kind of shove them wherever I have space, honestly, because I'm not really worried about them breaking or anything. But if you do have nicer sunglasses, you're gonna wanna make sure that you have space inside of your everyday carry bag to keep them a little bit separate so that you're not worried about anything breaking. But once I have everything in here, everything zips up nice and easily. And whether I'm, you know, traveling or on the road or, you know, carrying everything every day, everything fits in here very nicely. So tell me about your sling. Why do you carry this one specifically?
First is the fabric. I like that it strikes the balance between rigidity and flexibility really well. Sometimes slings can be way too padded and rigid, and I don't like that. And others can feel like a wet paper bag because they just kind of flex and fold with whatever you put inside. The next thing is the organization. So especially this front pocket, which I talked about, I really like that feel and that ability to just dump things inside of here, along with the other 2 great pockets as well. And then lastly, how the sling fits on my body. Everyone has a different body type. Everyone likes to wear their sling a little bit differently. And for me, this one just works so well. So I'm gonna ask you the same question. Why do you like yours?
My answer is very similar to yours, but with
Copier.
a little bit of differences. So I like this because it's more flexible. It's a sheepskin leather material, and it has kind of like a slouchy look to it, which I think lends to a little bit more of like a fashionable aesthetic versus looking like a traditional sling bag. So I really like that feature of this. I also really like these straps. So this stays nice and long regularly, but if you wanted to make it fit a little bit tighter to your body and not have it kind of like give that slouchy look, you can actually remove this section
sweet.
and then clip this together, and then it has like a tighter fit. So
Nice.
I like having that variety as well. I think it just makes it a little bit more interesting. So that's something that I really like about this one.
She's fashionable. I'm not. Look at this.
I just like it to be a little bit more fitted.
Yep.
So something like that to me is a little bit too pronounced, and I wouldn't really like that as much.
Yeah,
So
this is more technical.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
So I like this one because it's like a little bit more sleek and slim.
Fashionista.
I like to think so.
That excess strap is really cool.
I thought it was a really cool design. It also makes it so that you can wear it as like a waist belt, which like
Oh,
or
nice.
like a hip pack.
Without having so much extra strap hanging out.
Right,
Yeah.
which I personally never do,
Yeah.
but this one does like have a cool like slouchy look to
Yeah.
it. But not great for vegans. I had a friend who was looking for one for her sister, and I was really pushing this one, but she's vegan and she doesn't want anything
Oh,
animal
it's leather,
product,
yeah.
which I totally understand.
It's not fake leather, it's real leather.
It's real leather,
Yeah.
so that's the disadvantage of this, but it is developing a patina. I mean, I threw this thing around and I was able to like brush it off, and it still looks in really great condition.
Yeah,
so,
cool.
you know, still in really good shape, but
Sweet.
preferences. So.
So next question, Lauren, what is your favorite item that you carry in your sling and why?
I would say it's my Kindle. I know that I said that I only take it when I'm traveling, but reading is such a huge part of my life that I can't imagine going on a trip without the option to read something,
Yeah.
and reading on my phone is just not it for me. So when I'm looking for a sling, if I'm gonna be carrying it every day or if I'm gonna be traveling with it, I make sure it fits this thing. Like it has to fit, or that is truly a deal breaker for me. So what is your favorite item?
I think I was originally going to pick my phone, but that's a bit of a cop-out. So I'll pick the Peak Design mobile tripod. And it's gear like this, which is the reason why I typically carry a sling. So I don't use this often, but when I do, typically when I'm traveling, it comes in handy so well. And that's one of the main reasons to bring a sling. It's like pockets plus. What do you want to bring that you typically wouldn't put in your pockets? I know women's clothing doesn't have pockets, but if you're a dude, that's typically the way that I look at it. And this is a really nice get, even if I don't use it that often.
So if this sling didn't exist at all, which sling would you bring?
I really like what Air's doing with slings. This is the City Sling 3 for an example. I like that it's kind of like a brick. It's very packable, very easy to get everything inside, but it still has a look to it. It's a little more hardcore with the straps and things like that than the Bellroy. It's like more technical even than this one, I would say. But it's just very nice organization, fits well on the body, and I'm a really big fan of it. What about you?
I would do the Moment MTW Mini Fanny sling. This has been my go-to for years at this point. And this is actually funny because for the same reason why that's a little bit too chunky, I go for something like this, and it has that same slim design. So very much following our preferences here. But I like this because it fits, obviously not as much as what goes inside of this sling, but it can fit my Kindle perfectly. And it also fits like the bare minimum past that to where I can like wear this really comfortably on the flight, and it doesn't feel like I'm even wearing anything. So when I'm carrying very, very minimal amount of items, I just go for something like this because it's like, that's that sort of pockets plus where it's like phone, wallet, keys, we're chilling, you know?
Cool.
So when I go smaller, I go that. If I have to upgrade, I'll go for something a little bigger.
I like it. So those were two alternate slings, but for some more Pack Hacker favorites, make sure to check out this video right here of some of our favorite all-time slings. Thanks for keeping here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. See you in the next video.